Hey Mini enthusiasts, how you doing? I hope you're all having a great day. Welcome back to Project Sprout. The project we're going to do is a winter project. We kind of started a little bit early and we're running with it and getting lots done. So this week, again, to keep me busy, until we can get it in completely, it's just bits and bobs jobs at the moment. So can you tell what we're going to do? We are going to replace the water pump on Sprout. So the water pump is leaking. It's no surprise really. The engine hasn't turned for 13 years and the seal's gone on the water pump itself. So we're going to put a new water pump on it. This one come from Mini Spares and is their Evo water pump. It's got a composite impeller on it. I think it's slow. It flows slightly better than the standard water pump, and obviously it's an MPI water pump, so it doesn't have the mounting bracket on it for the alternator, nor does it have the connection for a bypass hose. So water pump we're going to do, new thermostat, and we're doing the thermostat because I've noticed one of the bolts is broken on the thermostat housing. I'll show you in a moment. That might actually prove to be horrible to get off, and yeah, worst case scenario, we could end up taking the head off. Hopefully I can get the bolts, the two remaining bolts out and get the broken bolt out. It's broken right at the head, so there's plenty for me to grip on. So I've got some new bolts. Obviously the thermostat housing's coming off, so a pair of new gaskets. They're decent quality gaskets. And we're going to put a new thermostat in it as well. I don't know whether the old one's knackered or not, but hey ho, what's a thermostat cost? Like £5, isn't it? So not worth mucking about at. It's an 88-degree thermostat, and the only other thing we're going to do is we're going to fit a new water pump pulley as well. So this is not new, this is donated from Pt.8. This is the one that was on Pt.8. Mark gave me a blue anodised one that he got for one of his cars that didn't fit. So I'm going to fit this as well, just because it, don't know, looks nice and clean and shiny, doesn't it? And it's not all rusty on the pulley like the old one. So let's get cracking. So here we go, welcome to Sprout's engine bay, which has got to be one of the most minging engine bays I've ever seen. It's probably the rustiest engine I've seen, rustiest engine that starts and runs and sounds sweet as a nut, to be honest. It's very crusty under here. So we've got a couple of problems. So the first one is, you'll notice the head of this bolt, so there should be 3 bolts, is missing. That's because it's snapped off inside. Hopefully I can get the housing off and get that bolt out without too much trouble. So I've got 3 new bolts. As you can see, I've soaked it in penetrating oil at the moment. So penetrating oil does what it says. It penetrates into the threads of the nut and bolt, so there's no point spraying it on there and going at it straight away. You've got to spray it on there, leave it to soak in for a bit, maybe reapply it a few times, but give it at least 10 minutes and then give it a go. And if we have some trouble, we might have to heat the head up a little bit to try and get these out without snapping them. And then, I don't know whether you'll see this, but if you look down there beneath the water pump, you can see rusty stain, which is, it's actually, well, I say no, that's rust of old, that is, but when you run it you can see water dripping down the back there, so that'll be the water pump itself leaking. So yeah, sit back, enjoy it, let's get cracking and get it done. Right, sorry for pausing there, I was struggling. So that nut's rounded off. So what I've had to do is whack on a 10mm nut, slightly smaller. The metal's pretty soft. I've tried the hammer driver, I've tried everything really, apart from heat, but I can't really get heat to it. So we're just going to have to go for it. It did start moving. Whether it's going to snap is another thing though. I was going to say we might be lucky, but I don't want to jinx it. Yeah, it's definitely coming out, that's good. So I'm quite pleased with that, because the one that's broken in there is right on the end here, so I can quite comfortably get some heat to it if I need to. Right, that's out now. We'll get it fully out in a moment. Being a bit stubborn, isn't it? Yuck. Right, penetrating oil, and then like I've said before, let's pause for a minute and let it penetrate. Yay, there we go. That's that little battle one. Can we save this part? I think we probably can. Right guys, sorry I cut that bit just because it was boring, just cleaning off the gasket. It's quite fiddly as well. So cleaned off the gasket, top and bottom, cleaned up the mating surfaces, and I've just taken it outside and I've stuck a hose through everywhere and let it run for like 10 minutes. So a hose through there, let it run until the water comes clear coming out the water pump hole. Hose through there, that goes through the radiator, comes up through the bottom hose, again run it till it comes clear. In through the header tank and through what would be the heater matrix pipes, but remember from the previous episode that's just blanked off at the moment. So here are all our old parts. Everything looks just about serviceable, to be honest. So it was a bit of a fight to get it all apart, but it did come apart. I'm glad I got 3 replacement bolts now. I was just going to get the one that was snapped, but I'm going to need at least 2. The thermostat housings are a bit cruddy. I haven't cleaned them up yet, but I reckon they'll survive. If you look down in that hole, actually, that's blocked just with gunge, so we'll clean that out. I can't get the temperature transmitter out, not without breaking it anyway, so I'm just going to leave that in situ. Going to do the fan belt as well, because the fan belt's quite cracked. It did actually come with a couple of spare fan belts. I think one's wrong and one's right. So here's all our new parts laid out. That looks like the right belt for it. It's slightly shorter, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Obviously new stat, new gaskets, new water pump. This is an Evo water pump with a composite impeller. They're meant to be slightly better. Less weight because the impeller's composite, so it's lighter. And new bolts as well. So what we're going to do with this thermostat housing is just plonk it in this container of gunk, just like that, leave it immersed for sort of 20 minutes, half hour. That just helps to clean it up all nicely, makes it a lot easier to get the stuff off. That's it really. Let's stick these bolts in as well. Give them a clean up. Obviously water pump's going in the bin. Clunk. must remember to put that in. That's a little gasket seal, silicon seal for the temperature transmitter. That's scrap. That one's scrap because it was rounded off. And we'll clean that one up, keep it as a spare for another day. Kevin at Gentleman's Motor Racing Club actually was asking about buying a parts degreaser, parts cleaner. I've used one in the past, I've had one in workshops, and I just said, yeah, they're good. They're not very expensive. Can't remember what you get, a 25 litre container of degreaser, a tub, and it has a little pump in it just to pump the degreaser around. They're good, but they just get in the way. You use them once in a blue moon. Yeah, and they're just, yeah, nice to have if you've got the space. If you haven't got the space though, I would recommend just do what I do. So this is just an old 5 litre brake cleaner container. Chop the top out, pour some gunk in. Gunk works really well. Clean it up. You can reuse this, I don't know, probably 10 times before it's knackered. And then you just throw it away. And yeah, kind of, don't know, saving the planet a bit because it's repurposing something. Right, so aluminium's quite soft, so you do have to be careful using a wire wheel like that. But the one I've got is quite gentle. I do need to reface this mating surface there. And what I've done with these, like these small holes, is just run a drill through them. I think it was 6mm for that one, and 10mm for this one. This one actually, oh no, I thought it had a hole in it. But it's a bit cruddy on the end, but obviously the rubber hose fits further up than that, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So let's just reface those mating surfaces, and then we should be good to go back on once we've rinsed it all off. And to do this bit, just really simple, just a sanding disc. So all we've done here is where that was really close to the edge there, I've just resin filled that, and where this hole was, I hadn't gone all the way through, but it's quite deep again, just resin filled it. you notice we've still got the cap off at the moment. That's just to bleed out any air. We're just checking the temperature here. These pipes were getting hot before the thermostat and the water just rose. I can feel this pipe's top hose starting to get hot now, so that means the thermostat's just started to open. We'll give that a few more minutes, and by this I'm just sort of manually pumping it around the system, trying to get any air out. It does a pretty good job. We think we can pop the cap on in a moment. It needs the cap on there to get up to pressure and to get to the right temperature, because these systems run under pressure. Water boils at a higher temperature when it's under pressure, so you need the cap on to get it to up to running temperature really.